Gente, no quadro 360 de hoje, nossa colaboradora Miriam Spritzer entrevista um dos mais importantes coreógrafos da Broadway, responsável por espetáculos de muito sucesso, como a Família Addams, Memphis e Jersey Boys.
Hoje a gente vai conversar com um grande coreógrafo de musicais, Sergio Trujillo, para conhecer um pouquinho mais sobre a carreira dele e os projetos que estão vindo. Sergio, thank you so much for taking the time to do this. I'm a huge fan of your work. Well, Memphis, Jersey Boys, Next to Normal, we can talk about this, and Addams Family. We can talk about the shows for hours.
Yeah, thank you for, I'm excited to talk to you.
Yeah, I'm very excited.
I'm excited to have people watch the show in Brazil. I haven't been there yet, but Addams Family has been there, and there's a couple of other shows that have sites on premiering in Brazil. So I can't speak yet which shows those are, but I'm happy to be here.
When we're talking about these huge musicals, how is the work with the creative team as a whole? Because there's so much that involves in choreography, from character development to wardrobe to music. How is that work with the whole creative team?
So when they create a Broadway show, it has many different ways of the way that they go about creating a show. Usually begins with an idea, the producer, the writer, the composer, the producer, so on and so forth. And some of the times the choreographer gets brought on last. I've been lucky enough that most of the projects that I've been involved with, I've been brought in from the beginning. With Jersey Boys, I was very much right there. We started 9 years ago, actually, in La Jolla, and with Memphis the same. With Addams Family as well. So it's been incredibly, I think, very useful for us as we're creating the show. For me to be able to help. And for instance, they may be doing a number, and all of a sudden, they're singing, and then they're singing a little too much. And I just think for them, I say to the team, listen, I can take care of what they're saying right now, what they're singing about through choreography, so that the number then escalates and elevates to a place where the audience feel elated. The audience doesn't quite know what is happening, but they go with it because that's what dance does. We have a saying on Broadway that if you can't say it, you sing it. If you can't sing it, you dance it. So that is really how I in terms of when I work with my creative teams, that's how I collaborate with them. And I'm very, very hands-on. I'm very much involved in the creative process right from the beginning.
For example, with Memphis, Chad Kimball's character, Huey, he was on stage, I think 90% of the show, singing a lot and having to dance a few moments. Well, not a few moments, I think also a very big part of the show. How do you manage to get, we talked about changing what the character is speaking to dance, but then how do you manage to let the actor, who is a poor human, be able to sing and dance everything? How is that preparation and negotiation with the ability?
Yeah, it depends. In Memphis was a really specific case with Chad, who actually is a really good mover. He moves really well. But what I do with each show is I try to figure out what is it about, how does that character move? How does he, what are the characteristic traits that character has? Huey has a hat. How can I incorporate that into the show? So while I'm rehearsing, I spend time working with them on the choreography and the way that they're going to move or how they move. Sometimes it's not about how I want it to be, but more about figuring out how that person moves. Mm-hmm. And you also have to figure out, okay, how can you protect the actor?
Yeah.
Because, with Huey, he's on stage the entire time. How do you protect that actor in a number? So what you do is you create all the fireworks around him. You create all the dancing around them, but you keep it focused on him. So you make all the dancers do all the hard work, and then you figure out, moments in which he steps in and out of the choreography.
Well, I have two final questions.
Okay.
One would be, what would be your suggestion or advice to someone who is entering the business now?
Me getting here and me continuing to do what I do, especially, has been really unconventional. I mean, and I do hope some of you over there really, you're in South America, anything is possible. I grew up in Cali, in a little, very, 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 very shanty little neighborhood, and I think if you set your goal in your sights and you dream big, anything is possible. So that's one thing I'd say.
Well, you are a great example of, huge success for South Americans.
And you know what? It takes a lot of hard work, and it takes a lot of determination, and the obstacles will come your way, and you'll have to make a lot of sacrifices. I sure did. But I've always been incredibly. I've always been a dreamer. So I think you should never stop dreaming. I think you should never stop believing. I think that you should always be in touch with the child in you, so that you can. I think it's when we become adults, and when we try to stay, like all of a sudden you're supposed to wise up and change and change who you are. I think it's important to evolve, but I think it's important to also maintain innocence and naivete within you.
It's great. Well, I was going to ask another question, but I think this is the perfect ending for this interview. Thank you so much for taking the time for this.
My pleasure.